Well, hello, everybody. My name is Sharon Bonney. I am the CEO for the Coalition on Adult Basic Education, and I'm delighted to welcome you to our session today, COABE Google Scholarships. So you're likely aware that COABE has partnered with Google to offer skills building opportunities for years. And we're going to take a short poll in just a minute here after everybody gets on, because I'd love to hear from you how you have participated in this in the past. So while we're waiting for folks, why don't you go ahead and put your name in the chat box, introduce yourself, and tell us where you're joining us from. Just folks, just another minute or so, and we'll get moving. Okay, so I created a short poll because I'm very curious who on this session has participated in one of our COABE Google initiatives before. And you'll also see in the poll that I've included IBM Skills Build as well. So I'm going to launch this poll now, and I would love to hear, did your local program participate in the 2022 Google Scholarships Initiative? Did your local program take advantage of the free digital applied digital skills opportunity that was offered through COABE? And is your local program accessing the IBM Skills Build opportunity? So we'll give folks a minute to respond to that. I see almost 80% of you all have responded, so we'll give you a few more minutes here. Okay, so I'm going to end the poll and we can look at the responses together. It looks like of those who are on here, very small percentage participated in 2022 Google Scholars Initiative. It looks like a bit more participated in the Applied Digital Skills opportunity. So I'm actually going to go over that too, just so you're aware of that, because that's also free to you. And then also really low usage for the IBM Skills Build opportunity. So maybe I'll share that too, just so you know, because these are free. So let me just turn this off here. Okay. Well, the first thing I wanted to mention about this Google Scholars opportunity is that, maybe just back up here. When we launched this in 2022, we partnered with Google to do so, and we knew it was a pilot project, which meant that we were going to find all kinds of things that needed to be done differently and better. And what was really great about this was because COABE has such a long-standing relationship with Google. We've worked with them since 2018, I believe. They've told me more than once that we're their longest-standing education partner. And so because we had this partnership in place with them, we saw quite a few things that we felt weren't working so well. And so we went back to them and said, here's a number of things, like our wish list for what we can do better and differently with the Google scholarships. And they listened, which was great. So there's a few things that you'll see if you participated last time around that are much better this go around. One of the things we've done differently in the past, we opened this up only to adult learners. Well, one of the things we learned from this is that if teachers were also able to participate, that they could then take that learning and that what they learned through the scholarship process and apply that back in their local program and actually teach this with their learners. So we opened it up. So adult learners, instructors, administrators, basically anyone that's a member of COABE can apply. So that's new this year. You know, a lot of times I hear from folks, well, what exactly is being offered? So we wanted to talk about that today. If you were to go into our program, you'd see that we're offering the cybersecurity, data analytics, digital marketing and e-commerce, IT support, project management, and UX design. So these are high need areas where these adult learners or those who go through the scholarship or the certificate process, at the end of the day, it's very likely they'll have a job because these are such high need areas. So we're excited to be partnering there. We also believe this really builds on the foundational certificate skills. So you can go deeper in the field and gain more technical skills, which helps you take your next step in your career. These are industry specializations. So you can see that there's additional areas here that you can go deeper into as well once you take this basic certificate. So that's exciting as well. You know, 2.4 million job postings across the certificate field. So it's really a high need area. You can learn at your own pace, 3 to 6 months on average. You can stand out to employers. So make your resume look competitive with credentials from Google. And, you know, I've quoted the $63,000 to $83,000 typical employment opportunity, and really it's at $76,000. So that's the median salary across certificate fields. I think that's phenomenal to help our adult learners to get out of our programs and tap into jobs. And as you know, it also helps us when we're talking about trying to hit those WIOA measurable skills gains, right, to help them to get jobs in a high need area. So one of the things I love about this, it's online at your own pace. There's career resources like coaching sessions, mock interviews, a resume builder tool. You can share your resume and note that on there. It really gives you the opportunity to get in on the fast track to in-demand jobs with top employers. So here's some frequently asked questions. What background knowledge is necessary? And the answer is none. Whether you're completely new to the field or have had some exposure, this is the right program for you if you're interested in this sort of certificate. If you're already familiar with the subject matter, you can skip directly to the graded assessments. I wanted to stress here, our Google career certificates really 100% online, and yes, they are completely online. So those that apply need to have some level of comfort working online. And then here, how much do the Google career certificates cost? Well, usually it's $49 per month, but through this scholarship, it will be completely free. So we're very excited about offering that for free. And it's on the Coursera platform, which we've worked with Google to update, but it's a global online learning platform that your learners would be accessing. We mentioned a little bit, how long does it take? So it takes usually 3 to 6 months. I will tell you that in our previous Google Scholars, some of them took a year. And so COAB really worked with them. We'd actually have like rah-rah sessions where we'd encourage them, get together with them and encourage them, come on, you can do this, you've got to complete. Another question we've had, how many from your program can apply? As many as you'd like to apply. So there's no top on that. So one of the things that we learned from the last go around is that working in a cohort with a mentor would be really important. So we've had a little bit of experience over the past few years with cohort work. We have a State Association Leadership Institute. We have a State Advocate for Adult Education Fellowship. We have an AARP Foundation, Work for Yourself at 50 plus cohort as well. So we've learned that when folks are working together, it really helps. So we will have our own special cohort specifically for this, and you'll have a mentor as well. So let me back up a little bit. What will happen? In order to be able to participate in this cohort, the learner would need to be able to get online, be able to work in Basecamp. We'd give you training on how to do that. They could ask questions, post about their success, post about issues they're experiencing, hear from others as they're progressing. And it just will help to give a little bit more cohesion to the program. We also mentioned, so COAB Google Mentor Instructor. So we are in the process of hiring a mentor who will help and will be available online to help the scholars to get through the program, but also who will help with basic things like when they're struggling getting online, when they're, just need a little bit of additional support or a little bit of encouragement. We want to hire someone from the adult education space who has familiarity working with adult learners, and also somebody who has already gone through this Google certificate themselves. So we feel like that would be really helpful. That said, we have been inundated with applications. So we're in the process of sifting through all of that and getting someone on board. Our goal will be to launch all of this out certainly by the end of the month, hopefully sooner if possible. So some basic stipulations. Any COABE member can apply. So I would say if your adult learners are interested in applying, we're going to talk a little bit about adult learner membership. It's completely free. I would encourage you to have them join as a member, and then this is another benefit they can access. The individual must be comfortable working online. That's really important. They must have access to device or Wi-Fi. So this kind of goes back to that. We're in the middle of Digital Inclusion Week, and some of our learners do not have access to devices and Wi-Fi. So we'll talk a little bit about Digital Inclusion Week as well, but this is a must. We did learn from the last cohort, the last group that went through the Google Scholarship campaign, that some of them applied and maybe the only place they could access the certificate was online. So as they were going through this, I'm sorry, it was at the program. So as they were going through the certificate process, if they weren't physically at the program, they weren't able to complete. And so that for some learners was a real issue. So I would just want to mention that, because if your local program does not have the devices that they need to send home with the adult learner, that could be an issue. We just saw this, like I said, the last go around. So then upon completion and the alumni, upon completion of the certificate, we asked that they would participate in the alumni study of graduates. So I'll show you what that's about. And then we also asked for a testimonial as well. So that helps us as we're going back to Google, working with them again to bring in more scholarships for the field of adult education. So I'm going to show you how to apply in just a minute. But before I go there, let me just stop for a second. I see one question in the Q&A, so I'm going to check that real quick. Are there device specifications needed? No. As long as the device can get online, that's really where the platform, it's an online platform. So as long as they can get online. We don't recommend using a cell phone. That being said, we did have learners that use smartphones or cell phones in order to access it last go around. Again, it's not most ideal, but that works. They need to have Wi-Fi and they need to have a device. I also wanted, before we go any further and look, and we're going to go online and look at this together, but before we do that, I also wanted to make sure everybody's aware that COABE will be holding an AI boot camp for adult educators. It's $300 for 8 weeks. And we encourage you to take this. It's to sign up for it. There's only capacity for 50, so we encourage you to save your seat. This is specifically to help local programs, administrators, and teachers. It'll help reduce coursework. It'll give you an edge on what AI can do for you at your local program. So we're going to put some links in the chat box as well for that. And then, as you know, it's National Digital Inclusion Week, so I'm going to stop sharing for just a second, and I have a few places I want to take you on our website. So give me just a minute here. And I do see a question here I'm going to respond. Does COABE offer CEUs or credits for the AI class? We sure do. Yes, we do. And I see a couple other questions here. My work with incarcerated populations have access to devices, but not nearly Wi-Fi. The desktops are hardwired. Would that be sufficient? Also, is there a hard start for the enrollment? So with the incarcerated population, they have to be able to get on the internet. That is one area that we have no say over. So that I would say that. In terms of the hard start for the enrollment, certainly by November 1st. But what we're going to do is over the course of this month, we have to get the instructor in place. We have to get the cohort built out, and we'll have an enrollment process. Once we hit 500 seats, it's full. So I would encourage you that if you're interested in doing this, that you would have your adult learners apply. But before we do that, I want to show you a couple things here. Let me just pull up my screen again. So you may be aware of the fact that COABE has a Students as Leaders initiative. This has many, many different components to it. For example, we have a program, Succeed When Learners Lead incentive grant, and this is over $2,000 that's offered to a local program that is really including their adult learners in their leadership. So the adult learners are at the table at that local program. And Then we also have here the opportunity to get on the empowerment portal, which is free. The opportunity to access $65,000 of free life insurance. We have the opportunity for them to attend our national conference for free, where there will be a Students as Leaders Summit. We have the opportunity for them to become student ambassadors, again, free, so that they learn how to speak up for themselves to people in power. We also have the alumni study, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute here as well. But I also wanted to mention that there are many, many opportunities when they become a member of COABE to network with their peers. So that is also something that's available to them. I also wanted to show you, so this adult learner alumni study, what this is we're really trying to quantify the success of adult education. So when your learners get their high school equivalency, or they finish, they opt out at the top of learning to speak the language, getting the credential that they came to your program for, they can participate in this study. You as a local program can participate as well. So when you participate, what that means is you'll encourage your adult learners to participate, and then we'll enter you in for incentives. And then same with this alumni, when they participate, when they enroll in the study, there's a graduation fund. It's $1,000. We give that out quarterly. So they can, once they enroll, they fill out the short questionnaire, then they're able to participate in that study. So I just want to mention that you can encourage your adult learners to apply and to participate there. Okay. I also want to mention that we have participated with Google for years, as I said before. This is right here. If you go to COABE, just type into your browser COABE in Google, it'll bring it right up. And then apply for the Google Career Certificate Scholarships right here. I also have it in the chat box, and I'm gonna put it in there again as well, but you can apply right here. If we scroll on down, you'll see that there are a number of other opportunities, like getting started with applied digital skills. This is a really neat program. This really helps the adult learner with setting up a Gmail, learning how to be online, those sorts of basic digital literacy skills, and it's free. So one of the things that was really great about this was we started partnering with Google, like I said, back in 2018, and many, many programs participated in applied digital skills. And then by the time the pandemic hit, they were used to being online. Their learners were used to being online. There was one program, for example, they serve over 1,800 adult learners, and this is one of the first things they do once that adult learner comes in their program is they say, "Are you online yet? Have you gone through the applied digital skills training?" And so I just want to encourage you, this is available. It's free to you through a partnership with COABE. And then I just want to encourage you that there's a number of Google success stories. So this is where we've worked with adult learners. They've gone through the program and they've come out on the other end successful. So I just want to encourage you that that's an opportunity too, that you can show your adult learners as well. So I'm going to pause here and I'm going to look at any questions that might be in here. Okay. I'm not seeing any additional questions. So I'm going to make sure to put some information here in the chat box. And I see that we have one of our very own that's here in the group, and that's Kristen Hempel. So Kristen Hempel is our Students as Leaders committee chair, and she's just done some fabulous work. So Kristen, if you want, I can promote you to a panelist so you can say a few words. In the meantime, I'm going to put out some links to everybody here so you can see them. Just a whole bunch of links. And while we're giving Kristen an opportunity to join us, I'm going to make her a panelist. Give me 1 second here. I think it'd be great to hear from her. She has just done amazing work for our field. So while you are looking at those links, everybody, I'm going to promote Kristen to join us. So she'll be joining us here in a second to talk about the amazing Students as Leaders initiative that she oversees.
Thanks. I wasn't planning on speaking, but I am always excited to talk about the work that we're doing with our learners. And so I was joining because, as we know, digital skills are a key component of being able to be a leader and an advocate for yourself in your life, in your education, at work. So I'm really excited about the work that we're doing in this area to support our learners with advancing themselves and their families and their communities, because that really is just a key component around our mission, which is helping them thrive, right? So yeah, please do apply. We're looking for some innovative and exciting ideas about how people are taking even just little steps towards building those key components of leadership development into classrooms, into programs, into state level work. We know it's out there. We know it's happening. We keep hearing stories. We want to really support it and be able to continue to put a spotlight on it and elevate it so that we can learn as a whole national community from the great work that's being done out in the field. So thank you for asking me to say a few words, and thanks to everyone who's here today for the things that you're doing back in your communities with your learners.
Kristen, great job. I know I put you on the spot, but really appreciate you saying a few words. I'm going to pull up the student center that we have for Digital Inclusion Week right now, so folks can see that as well. And I just have to say I'm super excited about this because, first of all, we know Digital Inclusion Week, as Kristen said, is really to help bring devices and Wi-Fi and visibility and funding to the field, right? So this is one of the things, as well as making sure that our adult learners have the skills that they need to compete in this economy. So one of the things that we've developed is this adult learner, the Student Center, Digital Inclusion Week Student Center. There are so many ways that your adult learners can engage here. We invite you to submit a success story. They can send an email to their legislators. They can register for the empowerment portal and connect with other adult learners, join us on social media, and then accessing the Google Scholarship opportunities. So lots of great ways for them to engage. But then we also just want to say that there's this Padlet out there. So if your local program is engaging, we would love to see more than 4 here. We'd love to see more than 4 engagements. I invite you to go in and submit that so that we can include that. But then also, as well, you'll see that there are many, many resources that are available that I want to thank Michael Matos, especially for working on building these out. There's fact sheets and there's, social media graphics, but then all these different opportunities right here, tons and tons of resources available to you and to your adult learners. So just really want to thank Kristen for making time to join with us here. I'm going to look in the Q&A here to see if there's any additional questions. Are any of the Google's career certificates available through this scholarship? Yes, 6 of them are available through this scholarship. Thank you. Just looking here to see if there's additional questions. Okay, so we actually are done. This was a quick session. We really wanted to make sure you're aware of these wonderful opportunities that are free to you. I also lastly wanted to make sure that we showed you the the COABE IBM Skills Build Initiative, which is also free to adult learners and to your local program. There's over 11,000 badges and credentials. COABE has our own adult ed channel there. We have been working with IBM Skills Build since they started this back in 2017. We were on the ground floor with them. So there's a short little video you can watch to explain a bit more about it. You can have someone join as individual user or join under your local program. And then if you are a new presenter for COABE, there's the Present with Purpose credential as well. So that really wraps up a number of opportunities that are available to you. I am going to check here in the Q&A. Where do we apply? So I put that in the chat box. Let me put it in one more time here. Here is a direct link to the page. You just need to scroll down. There's some information in here. And this is for everybody. And again, this is limited to 500 seats. So I would just encourage you, if you're interested, have your adult learners apply. You can also apply as a teacher, instructor, administrator. It's open to the entire field. Okay. All right. Well, Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate you taking half an hour out of your day to join us. And I hope that you will encourage your adult learners to become members of COABE. Again, it's free of charge, and there's lots of free benefits, including this scholarship. Okay, thanks for joining us. Take good care. Bye now.